Grocery stores are scrambling as bird flu drives up so-called eggflation. CBS News is tracking the rising prices of food, services, and household items using data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Before the pandemic in 2019, the average cost of a dozen eggs was $1.55. Those were the days, right? It rose to $4.82 in 2023 before dropping to $2.52 last year. As of this year, a dozen eggs costs $4.95 on average, which is a 219% increase from 2019. Other goods with the biggest price hikes since 2019 include frozen orange juice, which is up 86%, sugar up 70%, soft drinks up 68%, and white bread, which is up 51%. CBS News MoneyWatch correspondent Kelly O'Grady joins us here in studio. Kelly, I encourage everybody to go to cbsnews.com/news/price-tracker. I know it's a mouthful, but I'm just looking at the list and I'm like, yep, ground beef, yep, buy that, buy that. So what is the impact of these rising egg prices on the economy, and when will we get some relief?
So think about everything that eggs goes into, right? You're going to see prices go up at restaurants. We already saw Waffle House have that 50-cent surcharge because you can't have, an American breakfast without eggs. That's important to have. Think about when you go to the store, different things that you want to make, maybe a cake or a dish. So many of those things have eggs. And so we are seeing a lot of consumers say, you know what, I'm just not going to make that dish. That decreases sales for those types of things. And then you also think about, all of the other proteins that are out there. You're going to see prices increase for that because demand is going to rise. Because you're going to say, well, you know what? The eggs are too costly. I'm maybe going to go for ground beef. Maybe I'm going to go for tofu. And so, yes, eggs are costly, but there's just all of these different ripple effects. The USDA thinks that we are going to see another 20% increase by the end of this year. So not anytime soon that's going down.
What does the overall rising price of groceries and goods since 2019 tell you about really U.S. recovery and what inflation is doing right now? U.S. recovery since the pandemic.
Well, it tells you that's why you're not feeling the relief. All of those numbers that you mentioned, they're staples. Orange juice. I mean, maybe soft drinks isn't a staple, but it is for me. Okay. We love our Diet Coke. Pepper. Yeah, exactly. But wages since January of 2021, so not right before the pandemic, but kind of that year in, wages have increased only 19%. So people are feeling behind because they're having to pay so much more for the everyday items.
19% sounds like a lot to me.
But not versus 70%. Right. And what was eggs, 219%?
Right. Yeah, that's fair. All right, so let's talk about home builder sentiment because that also fell. It fell to a 5-month low in February. The concern is over tariffs. What does all of that mean?
Well, home builder sentiment going down. That means that home builders don't see the incentive to build more houses, and that means there's going to be even less supply. So this index, it measures current sales, buyer traffic, and then sales expected over the next 6 months. The fact that all of that is going down means that buyers aren't seeing the demand, so they're just not going to build as much. What does that mean for you and me as potential home buyers? We're looking at high interest rates. You and I have talked about this. That's not going down anytime soon. We're looking at high prices. The only thing that's going to fix that is supply. And this reading says we are not going to get that supply anytime soon.
Finally, Southwest Airlines are cutting 1,700 positions. This is the company's first layoffs ever. How significant is this?
It is huge. The company's been around over 50 years. That being said, airlines, they already have really thin margins, and there's so much competition that Southwest is really needing to lower costs in order to compete. The other thing that I will say, they had a lot of pressure from an activist investor that was able to gain board seats, put a lot of pressure on them. The cuts are coming from corporate overhead and leadership. This is not, we're getting rid of pilots. So no one at home worry about that.
Okay, gotcha. Kelly O'Grady, thank you.